4.7 million ounces of silver vanished from the New York vaults in a single day. This is not a drill. While you were sleeping on February 11th, the COMEX registered inventory plummeted to a dangerous new low. The physical metal is being sucked out of the West at a rate we have never seen. Total registered silver has now fallen to 98.1 million ounces. This is below the 100 million ounce line that every major trader watches. The vaults are bleeding dry. The walls are closing in. The paper market is screaming. But the mainstream media wants you to look at the paper price and believe silver is dead. They are showing you a $74 price tag and telling you nobody wants this metal. They want you to panic sell your coins and bars. They want you to think the SilverSqueeze is over. They want you to believe that silver is just another boring commodity that has no future. Therefore, the current price drop is a giant trap set by the big banks to steal your physical position. They know the metal is gone. They are slamming the paper price to make you give up your real silver before they have to admit the vaults are empty. However, there is a secret export ban that China just triggered that will change everything when the East wakes up next week. Most people think they can always just buy more silver later. They think the supply is infinite. They think if New York runs out, we just call Shanghai. The controversial truth is that silver is no longer a precious metal. It is a strategic weapon of war. On January 1, 2026, China locked the Great Silver Wall. They implemented strict new licensing that effectively slashed exports by 40%. They are hoarding it for AI, drones, and satellites. They are not going to share it with you when the real shortage hits. They are keeping the metal for their own survival. The global silver deficit is now over 200 million ounces for the sixth year in a row. Our current supply gap for 2026 is projected at a staggering 67 million ounces. We are in a hole that mining cannot fill. But wait until you see the secret reopening date that is going to catch every short seller in New York with their pants down. The Shanghai Gold Exchange is closed right now for the Lunar New Year. From February 16th to February 23rd, the Shanghai Premium has vanished. There is no physical Eastern support to keep the price up. Most investors think silver is weak, but the reality is that the market is just empty. It is a liquidity vacuum designed to shake you out while the world's biggest buyers are on holiday. You were told that higher interest rates make silver a bad investment. They tell you that silver pays no interest. But the reality is that industrial giants don't care about interest rates when their factories are running out of raw materials. Samsung, Tesla, and Nvidia cannot build products with interest rates. They need the metal to survive. They need the physical atoms to build the future. Therefore, the industrial demand wave is about to crash into a wall of zero supply. Solar demand is still rising, but the silver to build the panels is being locked in state vaults. The green energy revolution is running out of fuel. In a moment, I will reveal the one specific document from the Shanghai Exchange that proves the New York price is a complete fabrication. The headlines say silver is crashing because of a strong dollar. They want you to think the greenback is king. They want you to believe that a piece of paper is more valuable than a piece of history. However, the dollar cannot build a solar panel or an AI server. Only silver can do that. Paper money is infinite, but silver is finite. One can be printed at a desk. The other must be dug out of the earth. Therefore, you must stop looking at the dollar index and start looking at the empty warehouse shelves. The COMEX registered inventory is at a multi-year low for a reason. The metal is moving from weak hands in the West to strong hands in the East. The system is trying to convince you that your silver is worthless paper. They want you to believe $74 is the fair value. But the real 40% premium being paid in China right now proves that the paper price is a lie. Before the holiday break, Shanghai was trading at nearly $100 while New York was stuck in the 70s. This $27 gap is a mathematical proof of manipulation. It is the distance between the truth and the lie. Two prices, one metal. The lie is exposed. The arbitrage is broken because the metal does not exist to close the gap. In a normal market, traders would buy in New York and sell in Shanghai. The controversial truth is that they can't do it because there is no silver left to ship. The registered 98 million ounces in New York is already spoken for. Much of it is just ghost metal that only exists on a spreadsheet. It is a paper mask hiding a physical void. Wait until you see what happens on February 24th. That is the day the Shanghai Gold Exchange reopens. That is the day the Shanghai Premium returns with a vengeance. The banks have used this one-week holiday to smash the price as hard as possible. They are desperate to cover their short positions before the Chinese buyers return to the floor. They are playing a dangerous game of musical chairs, and the music is about to stop. The trajectory is clear. The gap is widening. We are moving from a 40% premium to a 50% premium. At 75%, the Western delivery system fails. At 100%, the paper market dies. Therefore, the current correction is the final gift from a dying system. You are being offered silver at a manipulated discount, while the real price is already in triple digits in the East. This is your last chance to get in before the door locks forever. The system is shaking. The 39% rumor was a distraction to hide the 40% premium. But the real 9.9% stake that pension funds like CalPERS hold in private equity firms like Silver Lake shows they are betting on tech, and tech needs silver. Every AI server they buy requires ounces of the metal you hold in your hand. The big money knows. They just aren't telling you. The Shanghai Liquidity trap is closing. On February 24th, the trap springs. Therefore, you must ignore the thin holiday trading and prepare for the reopening. The vaults are empty. The miners are tapped out. The East is hoarding. The West is lying. The clock is ticking. However, there is a second secret that the COMEX is trying to keep quiet regarding their eligible silver category. Most people think eligible silver can be sold at any time. The controversial truth is that most of that metal belongs to long-term stackers and private owners who will never sell at these low prices. It is locked away. It is not for sale. It is dead supply. This means the actual metal available for the market is much lower than the headlines say. The mainstream financial media is showing you a fiction. They are telling you that silver is just a small market that doesn't matter. But the reality is that silver is the Achilles heel of the entire fiat currency system. If silver breaks free, gold follows. If gold follows, the dollar dies. Therefore, the banks must suppress silver at all costs. They are fighting for their lives. They are using your fear against you. You see the price drop and you feel fear. But you should feel opportunity. When the banks slam the price, they are handing you a discount paid for by their own desperation. They are selling you their future for a low price today. Therefore, you must change your mindset from a trader to a hoarder. The industrial demand is not going away. Silver is used in every smartphone. It is in every electric car. It is in every solar panel. It is in every missile. The controversial truth is that there is no substitute for silver. You cannot use copper. You cannot use gold. You cannot use aluminum. Silver is the best conductor of electricity on the planet. Without it, the modern world stops. Mining production is falling. The easy silver has been found. The mines are getting deeper. The costs are getting higher. But the paper price is staying lower. This is a physical impossibility. Therefore, a massive price explosion is the only way to rebalance the market. In a moment, I will reveal the secret inventory floor that will trigger a total COMEX shutdown. The banks are playing a game of chicken with physical reality. They think they can print enough paper to satisfy people who want real metal. However, you cannot print silver. You cannot digitally create an ounce of bullion. Therefore, the paper game has a shelf life. The Shanghai Premium is the truth. It is the real-world price of silver. The New York price is a hallucination. It is a ghost in the machine. But the ghost is about to be exorcised. When the SGE reopens on February 24th, the weight of 1 billion Chinese buyers will crush the New York shorts. They will demand the metal. They will pay the premium. Most people will wait until the price hits $150 to buy. They will wait for the all-clear signal from the media. The controversial truth is that by then, there will be no silver left to buy. The out-of-stock signs will be everywhere. The dealers will be empty. The mints will be closed. Therefore, you must act while the lie is still being told. The $127 billion pension wave is coming. The institutional money is waking up. They see the supply deficit. They see the 200 million ounce hole. But they are trying to move quietly. They don't want to spark a panic. They want to fill their bags before you fill yours. Therefore, you must beat them to the vault. This is RateScope. I built this channel to show you what the mainstream financial media hides. The Shanghai Premium is the thermometer that tracks the fever. 40% today, 50% next week. This is how the paper market ends. But the real question is, will you have the metal in your hand when the screen finally goes blank? Will you be holding real value, or will you be holding a promise from a bank that has no metal? Like this video if you see through the manipulation. Subscribe to RateScope to stay ahead of the February 24th reset. Hit the bell so you don't miss the update when the SGE reopens. The lie is exposed, the convergence is coming, the truth is rising. I am RateScope. I will see you in the next one.